Welcome to the Longest Take podcast. In today's episode, we are joined by Heidi Mikac, president of Heidi Mikac Films, LLC. We get to talk with Heidi about some of her inspirations as a creative in cinema, and some of her favorite movies, and even some subjects such as mental health and other things that she really enjoys writing about and bringing into the realm of her stories. And we also get to dive deep into her current series she's creating and filming, Wherein Lies Continue. Welcome, Heidi, to today's episode. All right, so first things first, what are your top 5 favorite movies?
All right, one of my favorite movie ever is Somewhere in Time. Now, people might make fun of me about that, but I love that movie. It's so beautiful. Mildred Pierce with Joan Crawford is another one. Little Women, Winona Ryder, Dead Poets Society, and Steel Magnolias.
Good,
love those movies.
Good list there. And it's funny you mentioned Little Women, because I had someone on the podcast a few weeks ago who said Little Women, and you're talking the 1990 one, right?
Yeah, 1992 or 3, something like that.
Yeah, and it was funny because when it was said then, I only knew about the recent one from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I had no idea that, 1, it was a book, and 2, there was one that was done, a few decades ago in the 90s. So.
Oh man, I love Little Women. I always wanted to play Jo March in the play. I never got the chance to. It's one of my favorite stories. It's so cute.
Yeah. Have you ever read the book?
No. But okay, quick funny story. When I was in middle school, I got the chance to be in Little Women. And honestly, I can't even remember what character I was playing. It was a character that I didn't want. But anyway, we rehearsed it and we knew all our lines. And we were like, all right, when are we going to start blocking this thing? And our theater teacher was like, yeah, we'll get to it next week. We're like, okay. And then we come to rehearsal and she wasn't there. And we're like, wonder where she is. We go to rehearsal again the next week. She's not there. Wonder. And then it just never happened. So my dreams were just crushed.
So not only you weren't able to play the character, but also the person you couldn't even be in the play at all. It just never happened.
Couldn't even be in the play. Yeah.
Did you ever find out what happened?
No.
It just whoosh,
it just ended. Yeah. Yeah. She was very strange. It just ended.
And this was at school, or was this like an extracurricular? So it was.
Yeah, it was. I was like in 8th grade. Yeah, I can't remember. She said, she wanted to put on, play Little Women. I was so excited. I think I remember I replaced somebody who couldn't be in it for some reason. And I was really excited. And rehearsals were going great, but we would always just kind of sit down at our desk and just kind of read it. And then, we knew the script like the back of our hand, and we were like, all right, can we get up and move around a little bit? And she was like, we'll get to it. It never happened.
Yeah, was she old or something? Was she at one foot out the door of the company or what?
I'd say she was in her late 30s. I don't know. She was very weird.
Yeah, probably trying to move to a new job or something.
Yeah, probably. If she's listening, hey, if you remember me, I don't even remember her name. Was it Amy? I can't remember. If you remember me, let me know what happened to the production of Little Women in 8th grade.
Yeah, and let's do it now.
High school. Yeah, let's do it now.
Do it now.
Let's do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great story though.
So were you were already a fan of the movie by that time?
Oh gosh, yeah.
So you must have watched it when you were young then, if you were already in 8th grade when this play was happening. So.
Oh yeah, me and my sister and my mom, we watch it every Christmas. We love that movie so much.
Yeah. Did you see the newest one?
I did, and I wasn't a big fan.
Really? Is it because of your love for the original, or is it just the way that they did the story this time around?
I think both, honestly. I just couldn't get into it. I zoned out. I I think the sisters in particular, to me, I just didn't believe they were sisters. If you know what I mean. I just feel like the sisters in the 90s one just flowed a lot better. They made more sense to me. But the sisters in this one, I don't know. I couldn't connect with them. I don't know why.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Because
wasn't a fan.
probably because there's no Winona Ryder, right? That's
I just love Winona Ryder, man. She's amazing. She's a great actress.
yeah, absolutely. What was that first movie you mentioned on your list?
Somewhere in Time.
When did that come out? It's not. I'm drawing blanks. I'm trying to think of what it is.
It's got Christopher Reeves and Jane Seymour. It was made like early 80s, I think. Maybe like 1980 or 81 or something. It's so good.
What's it about?
So it's about this man. In the beginning, in the opening, he's at this party, and this really old woman comes up to him and gives him this I think it's a pocket watch or something, and she says, "Come back to me." And of course he's like, "I don't know who you are." And everyone's like, "Who's that old man?" "I don't know who that old woman is." And then he does some research and figures out who she is, and kind of digs into her past and finds out that she was this actress in like the early 1900s. And he tries to do everything he can to see her. And he talks to his professor, I think, and asks if time travel is possible. And I can't remember exactly what he says, but he basically says like, "Yeah, but you got to do all this crazy stuff." And he does all this crazy stuff. Like he kind of like he like gets rid of everything that can remind him of the present, and he starts to think and think and think and say like, "I am in this hotel. It's the year 19, I think like 1912 or something. I can't remember." And then eventually he's in that year. He's there in the hotel in the early 1900s. And so he looks for her and he finds her, and she looks at him with this deep love in her eyes, and they fall in love. And it's just so beautiful. I actually wrote a poem about it. I love it so much.
Really? When did you write that poem?
A few years ago. The last part of the poem I use in Wherein Lies Continue.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So Somewhere in Time, I don't want to give too much away with it, but check it out. Give it a chance. It's so beautiful. Really, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen Christopher Reeve in anything other than Superman. I
He's
think
so good in it.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think what was it? Most of your movies were like, I don't think you had any movies from the last few years, right? They all were ancient at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like
That's
oldies.
probably the only movie that I can think of that I've seen with him. I don't think I've seen really anything else with him.
No, I meant your top 5. Like your top 5.
Oh, my top 5?
Yeah, it seems like everything was at least a couple decades old, I think. I don't know if you had anything contemporary in there.
I really like older movies. I don't know. Movies nowadays, they just don't really appeal to me. I don't know why. Like Dead Poets Society. I love Dead Poets Society. It's a classic. Steel Magnolias. Watch that every Easter.
Yeah.
I really like the older movies. They just connect with me more.
Yeah,
for some reason.
That's fair. And it seems like you've got an inclination towards like period pieces too. Like, set up a little further back in history. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So on to the next question. What's your origin story into film? Like, when did you know I want to do some shit like this? You know what I mean? Like, when did you start kind of like getting into all that?
Well, I always wanted to be an actress. I always wanted to be in film. One of my favorite movies when I was a kid was Beaches with Bette Midler, and I wanted to be just like Bette Midler. So I would like act out the scenes and stuff, and I was like, this is fun. So that's when I started, when I was 10, I started getting into plays. But then, COVID happened. I did a lot of plays in college and high school, but COVID happened and I just got out of it, and I was in grad school and I just hadn't acted in a while. And then when everything slowed down, I decided to take an acting class. And that's where I met my friend Holly, and she introduced me to Paul Allen. And I auditioned for a short film that he did, which he actually let me name, called Small Talk. And that was so much fun. I loved it. I loved being able to I feel like with film you can really dive into the character a little more and change things up, because you can always do another take. And I learned a lot about myself too, that I was able to cry on cue, and I never thought I could do that. It was just so much fun. And then Paul asked me to kind of join forces with him, and we started Allen and Mikac Films, and he let me write and direct and act, of course. And that's when I was like, this is amazing. This is what I want to do. Because I had been writing a lot, the past 15 years, honestly, but I'd never been able to do anything with my writing. So I was finally given the chance to show the world, what I'm made of, and it was amazing. Being able to film Written in the Dark was like the first big short film that I got to film, and that was an amazing experience. So after that, I couldn't stop. As I've been writing every day ever since I was in that film with Paul. So
yeah, and that's crazy too, that it's relatively recent. Like you said, COVID is where it really started to click for you and you started doing it, and that that's still only a few years old, so it's
yeah. I was in that film with Paul in 2023, so it has not been long. The summer of 2023 is when I started.
Oh wow. So yeah, that's going on 2 years. That's still a lot of work to do. You've done a lot in that time as well, which I think is really impressive. So
thank you.
That's really, I would say that's good to keep that drive up, because I know a lot of people, they'll come in strong, and then after a little while you just start to like, I don't want to do this anymore or something. So.
Oh yeah, and I've had those moments, trust me, where I'm just like, I don't think I can do this anymore. This is just getting too rough. I feel like nobody wants to support me in this. But then just one day, all these people wanting to help me produce and wanting to audition and doing everything they can to help out Heidi Mikac Films, and I was just like, gotta keep going. It's my passion, so can't stop.
Yep, gotta stick it out, right? Gotta keep trucking
you
along.
Just gotta keep going. Yeah, if you gotta take a break, but man, just keep going. Good things will come to you.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I noticed that for like Written in the Dark specifically, and other projects that you've done, you tap into a lot of mental health and those kinds of struggles. Just kind of like, what gravitates you towards those types of ideas and concepts?
Yeah, well, like everybody, I've been through a lot. I've had a lot of traumatic experiences, and I feel like I'm not very good at communicating my feelings with people when they do me wrong. And I feel like film has been very therapeutic for me in that way, where I'm able to really write about like what's happened to me in my life and what I kind of wish would have helped me. I wish, like conversations that I wish I could have had with somebody. you know. So I write a lot about like you know, ghost talking to people, because, you know, I've had a lot of people that have died that I wish I could have one last conversation with them. And so that's very, very therapeutic for me, writing that. So yeah, I just really want to give people hope, give people peace, give people resources, let them know that they're not alone in their struggle and their fight, whatever it is that they're struggling with. Whether, you know, I've written about eating disorders, grief, depression, domestic violence. You know, big goal with Heidi Mikac Films is to, you know, get those stories out there, so that if one person can be like, all right, I'm gonna make a change in my life, that would be amazing to me.
Yeah, it makes it all worth it. Just even one person.
Oh yeah.
And because I think that something like that, as a creative, it makes you vulnerable, but it's that vulnerability that I think creates a bridge that you don't get with other creatives. You know what I mean? You know? So I always think that it's super important for, you know, someone like yourself to kind of tap into these ideas and these feelings. You know, it matters, right? So that keep trauma writing, I guess. You know,
I will.
Yeah, that's there's definitely people out there, myself included, you know, we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Just don't trauma write like how the Filippo brothers do it. They're the ones who did Bring Her Back and Talk to Me, those horror movies that came out recently.
Oh, I haven't seen them.
Yeah, no, they're really brutal. So
don't. A little too much.
Yeah. So don't go that far.
It can't be as bad as Terrifier.
With the gore, technically not, but in terms of just like how I feel leaving it, I'm like, it's
too much. Yeah, rough. You know, sometimes I feel like, you know, you can either you go too far, or you don't go far enough. Like I want, you know, with every story that I write, every film I put out there, I want people to leave with like, wow, that was amazing. Okay, like I want them to leave. I want to leave some kind of impression. I don't want it to just end. Yeah, and just like, what? I hate movies like that just end, and you're just like, what was the point of that? Right. I want there to be a point, beginning, middle, end. That's why I'm always so picky with my beginnings and my end. Especially like right now, writing Dasher Slasher, I have no idea how I'm gonna end it. I have the beginning, I love it. I got the middle, I love it. But now I'm like, I got to get the ending right, because if you don't get the ending right, then, you know, people are gonna be like, oh, what was the point of that?
Right.
It's the time, you know, no matter how good the beginning and the middle is, you know.
Exactly. And since you brought it up, so just anybody listening, give them kind of a rundown as to what Dasher Slasher is.
So Dasher Slasher, that is about this little college town being terrorized by a man pretending to be a door dasher. So what he does is he sneaks into the cars of door dashers, and he kills them just before they're about to bring the food to the apartment or house, whatever. So he knows, you know, where these people live. So so he takes the food and pretends to be the door dasher, and he kills them. And he not only kills them, he eats their food. He's a sick bastard. I'm still, like I said, I am still trying to figure out how the ending is going to be, but it's really good. It focuses mainly on these two college girls, named Casey and, oh my gosh, what was the other girl's name? What was her name? Whatever. It focuses on them. They're really freaking out because they just took this calculus test, and they're scared about what they made. And of course they didn't do very well, so they treat themselves to some food. And lo and behold, the Dasher Slasher comes.
Dasher Slasher.
Yep. So will they survive? Erin, that's her name. Erin and Kate, just came to me. Those are I can't even remember my own characters. What's wrong with me?
So I know there's, you know, we don't want any copyright or anything, but what if he has a mask and it's just like those those insulated DoorDash bags, but he cuts like eye holes in it, like Friday the 13th #2 style. Instead of a potato sack, it's the DoorDash bag.
That would be kick-ass.
But yeah, it's tough figuring out how to end those types of stories because we've seen slasher type of flicks a bunch, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want to copy something else, you know, so you just kind of like, what else is there?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like with the death scenes, especially, I'm trying to be more creative. I'm trying not to copy too much from horror movies that I've seen. I'm trying to do something that nobody's ever seen. I hope so, at least. but like I said, I mean, I'm not a big. I mean, I love horror movies. I'm just not a big writer with horror movies. It's kind of my first stab at it. So, I get it.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about it. It's gonna be really good.
Yeah, and speaking of kind of, you know, horror elements, you've been working on a series, Wherein Lies Continue, which, you know, it's about two sisters and just kind of, you know, some super dark stuff happening underneath the surface. So what shows or movies inspired you to kind of go after a series like that where we follow around a serial killer? Like, what was the inspiration for that?
Actually, it really wasn't any TV show or anything. I've always been fascinated by serial killers.
I knew it.
What happened?
It's what you've been doing secretly, and you're finally admitting it. I knew it.
I don't want anybody to know.
Uh-oh.
No, I could never hurt anybody. I am not that kind of person. Anyway,
Yeah.
So no, it's actually a really sad story how I started this. So when I was in high school, I think I was a freshman or a sophomore. A teacher got murdered by her husband.
Shit.
Yeah, it was awful. And I was just so upset, along with everybody else. I mean, she was like 27, 28 years old, beautiful. She was new to the school, I'm pretty sure. And I just remember thinking, God, I wish I would have known. I wish I would have known so I could have warned her. I could have done something, you know? And then little by little, I started coming up with this idea. I was like, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a psychic serial killer? And I was like, I don't know exactly how it would work. And I sat on it for many, many years. I was like, I don't know. I think when I was like 28 or something, I started kind of messing with it a little bit. And originally I had it that Emma, my character, was married to the detective that was investigating her crimes. And it was good. And I remember the title was really stupid. It was like Empathy for Emma or something, because I kind of wanted to like delve into like, can we have empathy for these killers? You know, can we kind of understand why they're doing what they're doing? So it was kind of gonna be more like that. But again, you know, I wrote a little something. It was good. I didn't think it would go anywhere. But then I pitched the idea to Paul, actually, and then I started writing it. I wrote 8 episodes. It took me a little bit, but 2, kind of going back, I worked with Holly in an acting class on a scene from Proof, which was another one of my favorite plays. And she was so good. We worked so well together. And I was thinking, I don't think I want Emma to have a husband. I think I want her to have a sister instead. So I cast Holly as Melanie. And I started, that's kind of when I started writing it. And it flowed a lot better. And I also had to think like, well, why are these sisters living together? And then I was thinking, oh, what if Emma started having these visions when she was a teenager? And I was thinking, maybe she started having visions of her mother being murdered. And I was like, I'm gonna play along with that. So I wrote it that like Emma was having these visions of her mom being murdered, and she didn't want to tell her mom because every time she tried, she would get these terrible pains in her side. She'd get a headache, even though she wanted to tell her mom really bad. And then, lo and behold, on Halloween night, she does, in fact, get murdered. So now Emma realizes these aren't nightmares, they're, in fact, psychic visions. So what's she gonna do the next time she has this vision? So episode 2 kind of follows the girls as they start school for the first time without their mom getting them ready. And of course, Emma has another vision, this time of her teacher. So I kind of, obviously, I based that off of my experience at the school in Tennessee where I lived at the time. And so yeah, that's kind of how it all played out. And we're actually, too, not to talk too much, but we're going to be redoing the first episode because I wasn't 100% happy with how the first episode came out. So I rewrote it a little bit, and we're going to be redoing that in the fall, which I'm really excited about, just so it all kind of blend in nicely with the other episodes.
Yeah, and since there would be a pretty big gap between when you did that original first episode and the second one, correct?
Yes, so, we did that in like early 2024.
Yeah, so being able to redo that first episode, it gives you that synergy between what you're working on now, because I imagine your method of filming it, maybe the equipment, there's a bunch of things that are probably different now compared to how it was back then. So, it's good to have that synergy a little bit.
Yeah. There's we got a lot better equipment and got a lot of good people working on it. So I just want to get it right. I want to get it exactly how I wanted it, because I didn't really get it the way that I wanted it the first time. There's a lot that I loved about it, but there's a lot that I'm like, gosh, I wish I could redo that. Oh, I wish I could rewrite that. And I'm like, gosh darn it, I'm just gonna do it. Let's go.
Yep, exactly. Just do it. So that's cool.
Do it.
Yeah, and it's also really interesting to kind of have that kind of story and not be tethered to some sort of like other movie or TV show, because that kind of frees you to, like, I don't know, maybe make some decisions that aren't like homage or aren't subconsciously inspired by something else. So it really yeah,
a lot of people, when I tell them about this, they think that I got the idea from Dexter.
I thought of Dexter too.
But I did not. I never watched Dexter. I'm pretty sure I thought of this story before it even came out. I'm not totally sure though, but no, I did not get the idea from that. But I can see why people think it's kind of like that. I watched Dexter a little bit ago. I didn't really like it. It wasn't really my thing. I was just like,
it's at that point when it started. It's just the way that it was filmed. It was there was like a point of time where shows like that, like Dexter and some other older shows, I love, like, from what I've seen of The Sopranos, I love it, but just the way that these shows back then were filmed, I didn't like it as much. There was something in the way it was done. It feels, I don't know.
Yeah, I was watching The Sopranos actually the other day with my mom because I never watched it before, and I was like, I don't really like it. I'm gonna give it a few more episodes, but I was just like, I don't know. I just didn't really like how it was filmed. I couldn't really get into it. I don't know why.
Yeah, there's something with like the early to mid 2000s of how things were filmed that, like, written incredibly, like all these things I think are very well written, but there's like a static, like, especially like old HBO shows like Sopranos, there was like this static way that everything was shot, where it was like they traded up the sitcom format and like those types of static, similar formulaic formats of TV, and then they just created another one that was like just as, like, uneventful, or not as, there wasn't a lot of creativity in its execution as there was in like literally everything else about the shows.
I agree. I just kind of zone out I don't know why. It's like too much talk.
Yeah, you do have a lot of that.
Action. Yeah.
Right. And Dexter also isn't psychic, so that's going for you too.
Yeah, that's totally original. So everybody can back off.
Yeah. And Dexter is like not I guess it's hard for your character to have more sympathy towards him too, but Dexter also doesn't try to act like he is a good person. He just kills bad people.
Yeah,
like, he has his code,
Yeah. And what I like about Wherein Lies Continue is, I want the audience to think like, man, is Emma a bad person? I don't know. Is she doing the right thing? Is she doing the wrong thing? Because, she's the way I have her, she's very sensitive. She's very childlike too. She loves her sweets. She loves, ice cream and cake and chocolate. That's what makes her happy. Melanie is very, like, mother-like to her because they lost their mom, so she kind of takes over that mother role towards her, which drives Emma nuts. But Emma needs that because she is very, very childlike. She can be a little immature, and so that I'm just interested to see how the audience likes Emma. Like what, like do. I'm just interested to hear their interpretation of her character. So I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And it's, it's good to kind of have more of a wild card in terms of like, you don't know what this character is going to do. And since she could see things before they happen, does that mean that a lot of times she ends up killing people that technically haven't committed a crime yet?
Yep.
So that's always interesting. A sci-fi movie I like a lot by Steven Spielberg. It's based off a book from Philip K. Dick, I think, called Minority Report. If you've ever seen that one.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I've heard of it.
So like the big thing with that one was like the police department has these 3 people who like get they get premonitions or whatever. And there's this whole like I haven't seen it in a while, but basically these 3 prophets, these 3 oracles, they have these visions, and then they inform the police department of who's about to do what, and then they act on it. They have a task force that'll go and take care of it before it could happen. And I love the idea of like because there is a moral dilemma when you interfere, because if someone technically didn't do it yet, well then are they guilty?
Right?
Technically, you stop them from doing it. So yeah, I think that's something really cool. And
and I mean, Emma, she's killing people that that have families. They got children, they got spouse, and it's like it's like, okay, you're saving this person, but you're also like taking this person away from all these other people. So it's like, is she doing the right thing or not? It's really, I don't know. I just always think whenever I watch like an episode of like Dateline or something, and I see these awful murders happen, I just always think to myself, God, I wish I could have done something.
Yeah.
I wish I could have helped. I wish I could go on the screen and help them, but I can't.
Yeah. It's just there. Yeah, and there's a lot of tragedy out there. It's depressing, man. It's just straight up.
It's terrible. This world is evil.
Yeah. So that means that there's a lot of catharsis then for Wherein Lies Continue. Because you kind of, like you said, you get to tap into that a lot of what you're feeling, and you get to kill the bad people in your way in your project, right?
Yeah, exactly. I can do whatever I want. It's cool too because I have that Melanie is an investigative reporter, and she's been reporting on these crimes for a long time, trying to figure out who the Lemon Creek killer is.
Yeah.
Of course, it's me. I have no idea. She's living with the killer.
Yeah, and that'll also be interesting how that plays out, because
oh man, wait till episode 4. Episode 4 is my favorite.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. When are you going to be filming? Two's done. When's 3 going to start filming?
We've actually kind of started on 3. We had some characters that were in episode 2 and in episode 3, and we thought, hey, why don't we knock out, some scenes in episode 3? So we've actually started on episode 3.
Awesome.
Yeah, but we're gonna be done with episode 2, probably I think by the end of summer. And then we're gonna dive into episode 1, go backwards, in November, and then I'm hoping sometime early next year we can finish up episode 3.
Yeah, that's the one thing about this film stuff is like time management is obnoxious.
It's a nightmare trying to get everybody together on the same schedule. It is a nightmare finding locations, and it's rough. Yep. But I've learned, just gotta go with the flow. It'll all come together at some point. You just gotta be patient, Yeah,
I think at least personally, one of my favorite parts of it is like dealing with ambiguity. Like I love you get faced with a situation and you're like, all right, how am I going to troubleshoot my way out of this one? I think there's fun to be had in that.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Oh shit, like now what do we do? That's even in my professional job, those are my favorite times, is like when it's like something's going on and you gotta be like, all right, how do we get out of this now?
No, that's actually a really good point too. In episode 2, Melanie is supposed to give me a banana, and we didn't have Holly the day before, and we shot a scene that was right after she gives me the banana, and then I realized I never had the banana. I was supposed to have the banana. So we totally had to change up the dialogue, and it actually came out a lot better than how it was before. It was actually a lot funnier. So yeah, with film, you just gotta, just gotta be on your toes. Just roll with it. Yeah, that's all you can do.
Yeah, and is that the same banana that I think you posted not too long ago, that it was all rotted and someone left it in the bag this whole time?
Yeah. So what happened was, Melanie is trying to give Emma a banana, but Emma's like, oh, I don't like bananas. So Melanie puts it back in her backpack and gives her something chocolatey. I don't remember what. And I forgot that the banana was in there. I thought we threw it out. I just took the book bag, I threw it in my car, and I didn't think about it. And then Holly and Caitlin were outside, and I heard some commotion, and I was like, "What's going on?" And Holly's holding this round, limp, pathetic, broken banana, and I was like, I was like, where'd you get that? And she was like, it was in here. And I was like, oh no. Whoops. I was like, man, who knew a banana could, rot that fast just after a few hours?
Yeah. That's funny. That's why you gotta keep an eye on all the props, right? Especially if you're using actual fruit and food and stuff.
That's why I need someone in charge of props. This is what happens when I have to direct, I have to act, I have to have all the props.
Right.
Caitlin helps, of course, but it's rough.
At least moving forward, if you have anything like a banana, you know what to do.
Any food item, make sure you throw it out. Do something with it. Don't let it rot in your backpack. Oops.
Exactly. Yeah. So congrats on getting your LLC status for Heidi Mikac Films. How does that status kind of help with getting, or how can it help? Because I know it's relatively new, but how do you foresee it helping with like getting things created, things of that nature?
Well, I've been told that it makes it easier to get grants and things like that, get funding, because people will see like you're like a legit company. I'm still kind of navigating it and learning more about it. But it makes me feel a lot more comfortable. I know a lot more people have reached out to me since I've gotten it, so I'm hoping that it makes us more legit as a company, and people will reach out to us more wanting to help produce or whatever to help us out. We need all the help we can get.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, for sure. Grants, I think that's something that goes underutilized, mostly because I think a lot of people don't really know the proper avenues to, pursue that. So if you could find different channels to get grants, I think that'd be a great opportunity for your films.
Yeah, that would be really helpful. Yeah, we're trying to work on like a pitch. We're gonna do like a pitch video soon. So I'm trying to, so much with film you gotta learn. I constantly have to research things. How to do a pitch video, like what do I need to include in my pitch? Where can I find grants? Things like that. So, any advice anybody can give me, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and then send it my way too, so I know I can.
Right? We need help.
Yeah, but no, that's still very cool. Because when it comes to anything that could kind of present yourself more officially, it helps it not feel like a hobby. Like sometimes, like if you got a day job, you're doing stuff like this on the side, it just feels like a hobby. And it's hard for you to take it seriously yourself. So something like this, it really reinforces that, like, nah, this is more than just a hobby.
Yeah. I mean, I'm making my dreams come true over here, and as far as I can get, man, would be amazing. I mean, I never thought I'd get this far in film. I mean, I never even thought I'd be in a film, let alone have my own production company. So I'm trying to just, take it one day at a time and hope that, things will get better and better for us.
Yeah, and patience is like a key thing with this field. Yeah, it's obnoxious, but when you understand that in the beginning, then it's not as bad. When you know that time moves very slowly.
Yeah, I mean, I was even talking to Caitlin the other day. It's so weird. Like, I started writing episode 2 back in 2023, and we're just filming it now.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's been so long. So yeah, you just got to be patient, and and I've noticed too, there's been times where we were supposed to film and we couldn't because of like a snowstorm or whatever, but it always works out in the end for the better. There's a reason why you couldn't film that day, because you had to make it better, and I did. And there, I rewrote some stuff, I took some time and I made things better. And I was like, you know what? Totally worth it that we had to wait a little bit. Totally fine. So just, be patient with yourself, give yourself some grace. And, if you can't film that day, then put your energy into something else, write something else, or try to find funding, something, put your energy into something else so that, you can feel better about it and, still feel like you're doing something for the project to get it going.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes even the universe is like, all right, this shit kind of sucks, so I'm going to give you a snowstorm, rewrite some things, and then when you finally get to do it, it's going to be way better than it ever was.
Exactly. Yep, that's been my experience.
Yeah. As a director, or I mean, this could even be as an actress, but who are some actors or actresses that like you would love to work with? Just like the dream team, right? Who would you like to work with one day?
Winona Ryder, of course.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
I love her. Gosh, I love Kate Winslet. That'll never happen, but I do love Kate Winslet. Who else? So many. Melissa McCarthy. She would be fun to work with. She's so funny.
Yeah.
Who are some actors? Some guys I'd want to work with. Liam Neeson. He's really cool. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of people I'd want to work with, but if it happens, Heck yeah, that'd be amazing. But you know what? I'm really happy with the people that I'm working with here in Lowell, Indiana. So, any opportunity I can get to work with somebody is so appreciated. So, but any big name stars that want to be in one of my movies, let me know.
Right.
I'll write you in.
If you I guess if you had the budget for it, a lot of you could find out really how much a lot of these, well, maybe not as large as the stars you mentioned, but SAG rates. I think a lot of them go for SAG rates, and SAG rates are typically done based on the budget for the project. So if you're someone I think you, but definitely me, where we have less than low budget, where it's really tiny budget, technically the rate wouldn't be as high, right? But then the issue becomes reaching out to their agent, and if they don't want to be a part of it, then they're like, no, I don't want to be a part of this shit, but
who can blame them?
Yeah, right. Do you have an IMDb Pro account?
I do.
Yeah, so if you were ever interested in looking at more accessible actors or actresses, even, or I mean the ones you mentioned, you could just say fuck it and just shoot some emails out to their agents, but a lot of that contact info's on IMDb Pro.
Never thought of that. I should really do that. I know I've seen some people work with Felissa Rose. She would be cool to work with. I'd love to work with her.
Shoot an email to whoever her agent. I think it's the agents you reach out to. I don't know, because I've been even with this podcast, I've reached out to so many people. I've gotten so many people ignoring me too, but I just go on IMDb Pro and it's here's manager or talent agent, and it's a lot. Cool. So definitely, if you had an idea in one of your episodes or something, or even another short you're doing, I wonder if so and so would be good for this part.
Right?
Just say fuck it, just shoot him a text, or not a text. Yeah. Shoot him an email. I meant, Yeah,
I got their numbers. But I was thinking it would be cool to have someone like that be in a teaser or something for Wherein Lies Continue to kind of get the indie go going. But I definitely got to look into that. That would be really cool.
yeah, and I mean, to your point, exactly. That's how a lot of these Indiegogo, Kickstarter, even some GoFundMe's, they put someone who's established in film or something, or horror, and it gets people interested. They're like, oh hell yeah, I want to donate to this. I know who that is. Even hey, you donate this, you can be on set with this big name star. I'd be like, hell yeah, I'd donate to that. So that would be cool. That would really help out a lot. So I definitely need to work on that. That'll be cool. And so, kind of staying on that topic of you as a creator, as a director, it sounds like you've kind of hit drama and horror a little bit, at least with what you've filmed. What's another genre out there that you're you'd be oh hell yeah, that'd be dope as hell to make a movie of that?
I'd love to do more comedy. I definitely have done a lot of dark things. I want to make some people laugh. I wrote a short film that I really want to do someday. It's called Christmas in a Taxi. I'd love to do that. It's a little complicated since it all takes place in a car, but in a taxi, obviously. That's about. So I'm from Iceland, if you didn't know. So in Iceland, we take Christmas very seriously. So my character is super obsessed with Christmas. And she's going home to Iceland for Christmas. And there's two other, the taxi driver absolutely hates Christmas because he had a very traumatic experience with Christmas with his dad died on Christmas, so
Oh
he
shit.
doesn't like, yeah, so he's like, I don't want to talk about Christmas, like stop. And then the other guy, that's in the taxi, he just I think I made him an atheist or something. He just doesn't like doesn't like Christmas. But then once he meets my character, he becomes intrigued and wants to talk about it more. So it's kind of three characters with three kind of perspectives on Christmas. Um, and it's really funny. And I talk a lot about Icelandic Christmas traditions, and it's a lot of fun. So, yeah, definitely hoping to do some more comedy in the future.
Yeah, and that sounds awesome. I love like movies that take place in one area and it's all just talking, like all just
Yeah,
dialogue. It's
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
How old were you when you moved up here from, or down here, I guess, technically, from Iceland?
So I was born in Iceland, and then I moved to Ohio when I was like a year and a half, and I lived there for 8 years. And then we moved back to Iceland in 2000 when I just turned 10. And then we moved to Tennessee in 2005.
Okay.
Lived there for 2 years, and then we moved to Bloomington in 2007, I think. So been here ever since.
Okay, so it's not like you went half your life in Iceland. It's just, you know, you
Yeah.
definitely you lived there for a little bit, but it wasn't like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It wasn't like most of my life, but I definitely a good chunk of it. I was able to I loved I was able to experience a lot of Icelandic culture and eat a lot of the food, and I miss the ice cream. The ice cream there is so good.
That's why you're obsessed with ice cream, right? Because
Oh gosh, probably like the Icelandic chocolate and ice cream, like their chocolate milk. Oh, so good.
yeah.
I do my sweet treats, but yeah, it was an amazing. That's where I fell in love with theater too in Iceland. That's where I started writing and started, really delving into my passion. So, and that's where the Little Women incident happened, actually.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. You know what? There's a
Yeah.
lot of does Iceland, like things filmed in Iceland, written in Iceland, does that fall under like Norse stuff? Because I know like there's a like I can't tell the difference because I'm just a dumb American between like when you have like Norwegian cinema or stories and then like Icelandic. Like I feel like there's a lot of crossover in terms of like I guess I don't know the Norse connection with them all, right? Am I?
Yeah, it's all very similar. Yeah. Yeah. I'm no expert on that, but my dad would probably know more than me.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do film a lot of movies in Iceland. I was actually an extra in this movie called A Little Trip to Heaven, and I got to meet Forrest Whitaker and Julia Stiles. That
Oh,
was
that's
such a
awesome.
fun experience. Yeah, that was fun. They filmed it in our high school. That was a lot of fun, and I auditioned for films, and it was just so much fun. I was an extra in a lot of Icelandic movies that I don't even know the names of them. I have no idea. I just remember A Little Trip to Heaven. But yeah, Icelandic films are fun. I really there's this series called Nightravaktin, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's called it means the night watch, and it's so funny. I gotta see if I can find like a clip or something to send to
Yeah.
you. It's so funny. I I don't know. I love the story. I don't know. Icelandic humor is it just cracks me up. Nitravaktin. I think that's how you say it. I gotta ask my mom. But yeah, I love watching Icelandic movies. Kind of brings me back a little bit. Makes me a little teary eyed. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Would you
good time.
ever move back to Iceland one day?
I wouldn't say I'd move back, but I would love to visit. I would definitely love to visit. I'd love to make a movie there.
Yeah, there's the
Movie there.
scenery. The scenery is gorgeous, right? Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And I'm sure if you looked it up, there's probably so many like big Hollywood movies that utilize that landscape.
Yeah. Oh, what was that one series? There's been a lot of shows that film in Iceland, and I am totally losing what the name of it is, but yeah, it's such an amazing landscape. I mean, especially filming movies that like take place, you know, during Viking times. You know?
Yes.
It's so cool.
Yeah. So
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones filmed up there too?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, because I know they filmed in like Ireland. They filmed like other places in Europe.
Yeah.
Iceland. That makes sense because a lot of the up in the north scenes where it's like the snowy kind of landscapes and stuff going on too.
Yep, that's probably Iceland. It could be.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yep. It reminds me of like New Zealand. New Zealand is always going to be known as like Lord of the Rings. That's where they did all the Lord of the Rings shooting, was down there.
Yeah. Perfect place to shoot that.
Yeah, and then you end up in the Midwest of America, and it's like, it's not as impressive out here, you know.
No, boring.
Yeah. But you'll get back there one day. You'll shoot a feature out there in Iceland.
That'll be my goal, to make a movie in Iceland.
Yeah. Make Christmas in a Taxi. That's gonna be your Iceland debut.
That would be amazing. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Do you still have family out there that, like, if you did go back, you could just stay with family or something?
Maybe, if they like me.
Right. Yeah, that's always...
Got some aunts there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Maybe I'd figure it out.
Yeah, because that's what it means to make films. Is you got to figure it out. Every situation, it's...
Yep.
You got to figure this out, you know?
Yeah, figure it out, man. Pray that it all goes okay.
Right. So I like to bookend these interviews with this question, just kind of like how I start them all the same. I like to end them all the same. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And this could be professionally and or personally.
Okay. Hopefully married. Kind of lonely with my stories. Definitely still want to be making films. I just want to be able to continue my passion, and I hope that all 8 episodes of Wherein Lies Continue will be done on DVD for people to see.
Wait. Hold on. Not DVD. Come on. 4K.
Why not?
4K.
4K. I'm sorry. I'm old school, man.
In that case, VHS. There you go.
Whatever. Come on. What's VHS? I don't even remember what that is. No.
Yeah, no, don't sell yourself short. Just put it on the highest quality, whatever it is. Then just like make that be the physical media.
Okay, I'll put
expensive thing possible
on Tubi.
Yeah, there you go. I've heard it's easy.
Yeah, I know people trash out Tubi, man, but I would love to get one of my films on Tubi. I want to get Written in the Light on Tubi.
Yeah, it's possible. I think it's relatively easy. I don't know what you need, but I mean, on top of that, there are so many good art house movies that are on Tubi that you won't find on any other media or any other streaming. I think it's the Tubi originals that people notice, and they assume like all Tubi sucks. But
oh yeah,
they've got a lot of good shit on there too. So yeah,
stuff on there. Not too bad. So hopefully you'll see Written in the Light on there someday.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, will it into the universe. You know, manifest it.
Yeah, so everybody can watch it. That's the goal. I want everybody to be able to watch it. But yeah, those are the big things. I really, really hope I can continue filmmaking, because there's no way God didn't give me this talent for nothing, man. I mean, I'm writing every single day. I'm coming up with so many cool ideas, and I love the people that I work with. They come up with so many cool ideas, and I want to continue it so bad. I just got a fire in my belly for it, and I'm not ready to give up yet.
Keep on keeping on, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, that's all you can do. Just gotta keep on making it, and until you make it, right?
Yep. Sometimes fake it till you make it too.
Exactly. That's me.
Manifest it in any way possible.
Yeah, people think I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna let them keep thinking that.
Exactly. That's the secret. That's everybody in Hollywood too. None of them know what they're doing. They're just, is this gonna work? Let's see. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Awesome. So, before we get out of here, just is there anything in particular that you want to plug right now? Socials that people could follow, places where you can find updates for Wherein Lies Continue, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, definitely go to YouTube and subscribe to my channel, Heidi Mikac Films. That's HEIDIMIKAC. You can add me on Facebook. I got a Facebook group for Wherein Lies Continue. I got a Facebook group book for Heidi Mikac Films, Heidi Mikac Films LLC. And also, I'm going to have the Indiegogo coming up probably late summer. So if anybody's interested in being a producer, or they're interested in, I sell roles, whatever. I'm going to be selling like voiceover roles. You could get a prop from the movie, things like that, or you can just, donate if you want to see this thing, because with this thing, it's not going to be made without support from people. So anything, $5, $10, $20, whatever, it helps big time. So I just want to quickly also thank all the producers that have helped us out so far. It has been an amazing experience doing the school scenes. Some of our producers were there, and it was so much fun working with them. So I just want to give a shout out to producers, not only donating money, but donating their time, and spreading our Indiegogo, letting people know about the show. It helps a lot. Just doing like a quick live talking about the show. We appreciate it so much. So yeah, keep an eye out for the Indiegogo. Keep an eye out for we're gonna get the trailer out and the teaser out soon. So we got a lot coming up. So stay tuned.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much, Heidi, for joining me today. It was great talking to you, and yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.